feel bad I didn't bring Starbucks for everyone. They just put it in my hand. It's like... That's Comic-Con. Comic-Con is just people putting stuff in your hand and giving you swag and going, you got to get to this panel, and then
I wish we had that problem.
Well, luckily, they have people that drag me around to my next thing because I'm pretty organized for an actor, but for a flaky artist, I'm pretty damn good. But there's just so much, you know. It's like because I'm here for Spyro the Dragon with Activision, Adventure Time, this Final Space, SpongeBob, and then on Saturday my band is playing at the library with Bootsy Collins.
Oh, nice. What's your band's name?
It's called Tom Kenny and the High Seas.
Oh.
And, yeah, we're playing 11-piece soul band. It's good, old school soul. It's tomorrow 7 p.m. Library with Bootsy. You know Bootsy? Bootsy Collins. He's the greatest. He's sitting in with us.
So first question, how do you find all the time to do all these projects?
Well, you know, I'm trying to get away from my wife and children all the time. That's really what it's about, trying to avoid real life. You know, I'm pretty busy, but, you know, I got kids, and, well, one of them's 20, so he's not that hard anymore. He's wandering around the Comic-Con. But I have a 15-year-old girl. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. She was a 15-year-old girl like 2 years ago, so she, right?
I'm 30.
Wow. You're going to... You look really young too. You're 32.
Same class.
All right, you guys are both going to be carded at bars for the rest of your freaking lives. You're going to be having to show ID to doormen at gin mills forever. Yeah, time, man. It's really all about. That's what it's all about. But I love what I do for a living. You know, I audition for everything. Don't get most of it. Get some of it. Get enough of it. You know, it's a numbers game. And yeah, I just feel so like I feel lucky to be one of the very few people that totally doesn't hate what they go do at their job. So it's like, well, I better honor that. Like, you can't be cavalier about that shit. It's like that's. Most people don't get to have that experience where you love what you do, right? Your job is a means to an end, you know. And then I do what I really like in my spare time.
Yeah.
But if the thing that you are lucky enough to get paid for is actually what you love doing and would be doing for free anyway, which totally I would be. It's like, and it's what you've always wanted to do since you were a little kid. Don't be an asshole. I mean, honor that, you know. So I do a lot of it, and you know, how many actors get to work every day, like on different characters, like 5 days a week. Monday's this, Tuesday's this, Wednesday's this, Thursday's this, Friday's this, and some of it's preschool, sweet, saccharine stuff, and some of it's just crazy comedy stuff. Some of it's dirty, you know, Rick and Morty, Adult Swim, like dirty but smart, you know, and then some of it's stuff like Final Space that's just like conceptual and has like a melancholy sadness to it. Like, it's funny. That's what I was kind of going to miss that about Adventure Time. Is that it was fun to work on a show that wasn't afraid to show melancholy, like sadness, like when you lose somebody, you know, and you know, it's the Ice King on Adventure Time lost his wife, and he lost his mind, and it's about saying goodbye. And
that really pulled us in even deeper into the show.
And I feel like I was like, wow, I'm going to miss being on something that has those notes, you know. And now Final Space kind of has that, you know. I feel like a door closed and a door opened, and like this show is not afraid. Final Space is not afraid to embrace the kind of transient nature of life and what happens next, and death and nothingness, you know, the great void. Shit that I think about all the time. Probably way too much, you know. It's like, but that's probably why I stay so busy. I'm trying to distract myself from the horribleness of the universe, but especially the universe in which we find ourselves now. So yeah, it's fun. And then the music thing is just like a total release. Like, it's something I started doing. I haven't been in a band since I was 21. And then a couple years ago, when I was 53, I started farting around with some other people doing songs for SpongeBob and stuff like that. We started playing. Then we played somebody's party and somebody's wedding, and next thing I know, we're playing all these swanky corporate parties, and there's 14 pieces, there's 3 horns, and girl backup singers, and it's like it's a release. But I also, with that one, I feel like I'm not a religious person at all, but I feel like as close as I come to being religious is the power of music and art and like what that does for humans, you know. So I feel like we play all these crazy old forgotten songs, like old R&B songs and stuff like that, and by these great Sam Cooke and James Brown, people like that. That these people, 20-somethings need to know these people. You know what I mean? And you need to know who Sam Cooke is. You know, you need to know who Hank Ballard and the Midnighters are. You know, you got to know who Bootsy Collins and George Clinton are. You know, and so that's stuff I spent my whole life loving. So, it's life, right? It's a mixture of happiness, a little laughter, a little tear, and I think Final Space is really good at both those things. Like, it's really good at the stupid comedy and slapstick, and Kevin, and I mean, my 2 favorite things about Final Space as a show are like that sadness, that melancholy, and also how mean they are to Kevin. Shut up, Kevin. Nobody cares what you think. Sometimes I feel like that in my own house. Your kids. Shut up, Dad. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? Can I offer you some advice? No. So it's like, well, I know how Kevin is, man. I identify with Kevin. So it's like, I like the comedy and the tragedy, and it's. I'm really happy it got picked up for a 2nd season, and happy that h.u.e, the AI of the ship, unexpectedly to me, I just thought I'd be doing the same thing for as long as the show was on. And h.u.e.'s kind of changing, and his relationship with Gary is getting a little more parental. Like the finale was pretty much. h.u.e. doesn't have arms, but it's kind of him telling. It's kind of like when you're cradling a dying person in your arms, telling him it's going to be okay. You can go. Cookies, Gary. You can have the cookie. It's okay to go. And so that's part of everybody's going to have to do that in their life sometime. And I'm glad to be able to do more of that. Like, I'm glad Final Space got picked up, and Olin's vision, I think, is. I still don't know where it's going. I'm looking forward to it.
They said they had a plan to the end. So,
They might just be telling the truth, or not, or they're just bullshitting.
So sorry, I got a panel to do.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much.